What's up, everybody? Mike here, and I want to go over the community update here, number 21, Forge Your Legacy. That's got some clarifications on quite a bit of stuff here, and quite a lot of stuff to go into, so it's maybe a little lengthy video here. I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, but before I go into it, big thanks to everyone who's checked out my latest Why You Should Be Hyped for Baldur's Gate 3 video with the views and the great comments. You know, it's refreshing to, meet some cool people in a gaming community, just like, or just as hype as I am. Those either veterans or newcomers to it, never played D&D. And some of y'all are just recommending me like, hey, check out Pathfinder 2 and whatnot, which I do have and whatnot. So yeah, thank you guys so much for that. All right, let's jump into this. So, it talks about here, I say for yourself, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be a truly deep, systematic RPG with a story and world that is yours to mold. I think that's what I meant, mold. All right. No two playthroughs will be the same. And that even goes for those of you who have clocked a few hundred hours in early access. Yes, yes, yes. So that's great, fantastic. And even Act 1 here makes up less than a quarter of the total content that will be available at launch. Now, before I go past that, this game has 3 acts. Mind you, 3 acts. And Act 1 is less than a quarter of that. Act 2 and 3 are just going to be immensely long and huge. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for exploring, doing side quests, trying to talk to probably as many people as I can. Craft your destiny. Forge a bespoke class with multi-classing. Whether you're an experimenter at heart who forges class hybrids through careful consideration, or you just can't decide between a warrior and a mage. We're excited to finally announce that multi-classing will be coming to Baldur's Gate 3. So this one I'm wondering about in more detail, like how the multi-classing works. Multi-classing really changes the game, literally because it allows you to fully customize the theme of your character. It has both a roleplay and a practical function, leading to all sorts of chaotic combination and experimentation. I like that. Roleplay and practical function. I think they mentioned roleplay in there because, I don't know if you multi-class, if that's automatically going to shut out certain quest lines or if that's going to just add more to it. For example, if you did go like a barbarian and decide to go like into sorcery on top of that, and I'm guessing maybe they'll get some more quest lines because you got some quests that are related to your class only. So, and people in the world are going to react to you, and conversations are going to kind of determine or kind of be reactive or dictative of like your class itself and what you do with your action. That could be what they mean there. In order to allow all your wildest dream class combinations, we removed ability score prerequisites. There's no more need to get your charisma up to a pesky 13 if you decide to make a soul pact with a playful archfey or a dangerous fiend. You can multi-class into anything your roleplay and build desires demand. In short, this means warriors will be able to wield arcane spells, rogues can master divine magic, spellcasters may dabble in martial prowess, and you'll have the freedom to build the exact class you want. I love it. I love it. I would imagine you could possibly do it to 3 or more multi-classes, which is probably not best because, there's max level of 12, right? And, I don't know. They're probably going to let you do this, but if you want to put 1 point into 12 different classes, I'm pretty sure it could. Not the most optimal or viable option or decision to do that. So I would imagine, the best route would be like 2, maybe 3 tops, if you can make it work. Each level you'll have option to choose different class to spend points on and begin building a bespoke multi-class character. Possible combinations. We recommend you have previous experience as a D&D player to fully leverage this feature. Should you decide to evenly spread all your points into every class for no strategic reason whatsoever, there's actually an achievement for that too. Oh my god, yeah, they just confirmed what I literally was just kind of talking about there and sort of theorizing about. Yep, they just confirmed it. All right, so it sounds like you can do that if you want to spread them all around. And for my first solo playthrough, and even when I do my first call playthrough, I most likely will stick to 1 class. I probably won't multi-class on the first one just because I want to get used to the game and mechanics, especially with me never playing a game of D&D in my life, the tabletop. So on a second playthrough though, oh yeah, I'll be messing around. This I haven't dived into yet. Mercenaries at your service. Recruit lethal assistant with Hirelings. So Hirelings is something I haven't really read too much about. What if you want to create a party that is made up entirely of giant druidic badgers? We hear you loud and clear, community. Should you so choose, you'll be able to create a custom party without any origins, opting instead to have Hirelings join you on the road. Mercenaries who can be hired to join your team temporarily. Wait, hold on. I could have sworn, I guess they maybe changed that Because that word, that the word they're using here temporarily, because I could have sworn I read or heard that if you, like, say you lose one of your main companions, right, like Shadowheart or Asterion, right, they die. That's what the hirelings are for example. Like, you can hire a hireling that isn't like an origin character to be the essentially make your party full again. But I thought they go with you the rest of the game, like whether they chill at camp, whatever the heck. Now it seems like it's temporarily, so I guess they changed that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. In Baldur's Gate 3, there are 12 hirelings available for you to recruit, one of each class. Each has their own name, visuals, and race, and can be respected at any time. Really? I'm seeing it right here. Like, I wonder why they wouldn't be more important. I can see if they were just temporary, then why give them a name? Why give them a name and their own race and all stuff like that if they're just temporary able to help you out? I don't know. That just kind of seems a little bit iffy to me. I don't know. We'll see. Dark Urge, we already went through. So maybe there's actually some extra details in here with this we should check out. All right, so over the past 3 weeks, we've been leaving a breadcrumb trail of clues leading to the reveal of the final playable origin character. So unlike Baldur's Gate 3, other playable protagonists, the Dark Urge is fully customizable character. If you prefer to play this darkness, take the shape of a two-eyed gnome instead, or think true evil is a half-orc armed with a bongo. The choice is yours, from your class and species to your gender and overall appearance and even your name. So who is the Dark Urge, right? We kind of already touched on this, but so Dark Urge is one that players will answer for themselves, it seems, as they journey down this dark path as the Dark Urge. So you begin Baldur's Gate 3 with your memory lost after an unfortunate encounter between a parasitic tadpole and your brain. Now all that's left is a insatiable urge, an urge that makes itself known in your subconscious through your deepest thoughts and in your dialogue option. Guiding Dark Urge in their time of need is Certus Fell. Okay. Voiced by Brian Bowles. Nice. Narrator in Divinity Original Sin 2. Okay, cool. I have to play that as well, too, at some point. So, vile loyal servant Fell lives only to see the Dark Urge return to their rightful bloodstained path and urges them to commit some of the most lurid acts of violence that you'll encounter in the game. But whether you indulge your most depraved impulses or attempt to resist them in this role is entirely up to you. Because despite the darkness lurking with this character, how you choose to play the Dark Urge is for you to decide. In Baldur's Gate 3, so there's no clear-cut evil path. There's no path that is plainly good. There are simply choices, ramifications, and a personal evolution that will ensure who you play is as complex and multifaceted as you are. So yeah, don't think this is automatically just an evil character. You can do what you want, because all the characters you play as your custom character, the origin characters, you can be a villain or a hero no matter what. So don't think that's just to this one. And Baldur's Gate 3 want a romantic relationship to possess some of the same complexity and depth as the other part of our narrative. Yep, they touched on this in the panel from Hell. Every relationship you forge is different, reflecting the personality and personal arc of that character over the course of the game. Some may begin with a steamy wild shape transformation. Others start with cautiously and require more attention to foster a deeper connection. Relationships change over time, and neither you nor your partner will be the same person in Act 1 as you were by the game's end. Awesome. Fantastic. This includes your relationship to your guardian, the character you create at the start of the game, who represents all that you desire. So, okay, yeah, essentially your mate. Your guardian's your mate or ideal mate or person to be within this game, essentially. Guardian has changed significantly since your first encounter. Them. In your dreams throughout early access, we've worked to thematically deepen this narrative thread, going beyond the realm of physical desire to encompass the full spectrum of complex emotions that must be navigated in order for you to truly trust another. We hope you enjoyed the previous maddeningly vague sentence, okay? Because you'll have to play for yourself to find out what any of it means. Oh boy, I'm excited. I'm glad they're not giving really too much away. The path to intimacy also varies greatly for each relationship along the course of the game. A companion like Lozelle, who excludes sexual energy at the beginning. I said excludes. Wow. Exudes sexual energy at the beginning of a relationship can take time to let her guard down. making the act of holding her hand all more intimate. On the other hand, a relationship that begins with a night post goblin slaughtering passion could also blossom into something vulnerable and sweet, given proper care. Those relationships follow the same formula. Awesome. I like that. It was important to us to portray sex as more than a trophy for complying with a companion quest line. Right. In Baldur's Gate 3, you're encouraged to navigate your relationships, to argue with your partner and challenge their way of thinking. After all, if you just go along with whatever they want to do, you may find yourself sacrificed in an evil god's sex rite. Oh man, turned into a vampire, or worst of all, Warren's senior origin narrative designer. Okay, you might even end up getting married. Oh, this is very cool. So from the College of Mastering the Art of Alchemy. So alchemy's in this game. That I was not entirely sure about, only because I didn't play a ton of early access and I didn't want to spoil too much for myself. So a new crafting feature comes in Baldur's Gate, the domain of magic wielders, conjurers, and anyone with a passing interest in mysterious fumes. Alchemy allows you to turn your collection of herbs, wild mushrooms, crystals, and monster limbs into useful items you can prepare ahead of a fight. Awesome. So in Baldur's Gate 3, you can use ingredients found in the wilderness to create a variety of extracts. Then combine extracts to create potions, poisons, and oils to imbibe or coat your weapons with. That is fantastic. It's like, you know what this reminds me of? Witcher, kind of. To an extent. Like, this kind of reminds me of Witcher 3 a little bit. I love that. All right, major villain time. Or in the red. Look at her. Holy shit, she looks cool as hell. Her design. I hope she ends up being, you know, I think she's one of the 3 villains in here, so I'm hoping I do like her as a villain. I do. So completing the trinity of villains is Baldur's Gate 3 is Orin, a practitioner in the art of inflicting pain and a grandmaster of murder. Orin has killed for many years, but has yet to be caught, thanks in part to her shape-shifting abilities, which enable her to take form of anyone. Oh, so she's Mystique. Got it. She's Mystique from X-Men. Wonderful. I love her already. Perhaps even someone in your camp. She hides her cravings to commit murder beneath these numerous masks, disguising her intentions and herself to lure unsuspecting victims. During the act of murder that she is her truest self. At that moment, she is murder. You got split screen co-op multiplayer. I'm not too sure, though, how this is going to work on PC. If this is going to be like, if you have to use controller or, you know, on PC, or if one person can play keyboard and mouse. See, 2 of you can grab controllers and jump straight into 2-player split screen couch co-op. So since they don't mention keyboard and mouse, it seems like it's automatically you're gonna have to be playing with controller on PC to do a split screen. Whispers and headlines, the echoes of your deeds on the city's gossip mill. So upon reaching Baldur's Gate, your choices will begin to express themselves throughout the world in other ways. Crowds in the city will systematically gossip and talk about your escapades and failures, and can even be influenced through you directly, modifying the paper and printing the most favorable headlines. All right, this one I guess was a concern by some of the community members that obviously fellow streamers, content creators. Don't worry, you can stream BG3. So from near release, we thought it prudent to remind anyone looking to stream Baldur's Gate 3 of some useful tools designed to create a better experience to you and your audience. So, all right, some of you have shown concern about mature content that could potentially become flagged by your chosen streaming platform. For those of you who want complete peace of mind, you'll find 2 new user options within the options menu: show cinematic nudity and show genitals. From here, you can enable or disable this content at your convenience. Fantastic. Well, there you go. There you go. We'd also like to remind you that there's a really cool Twitch integration that once enabled and connected to lets your viewers see your party view, track your quests, and vote on dialogue options. That is very exciting. I love that. To get your community involved, I cannot wait to try this. This will not be a first playthrough for me personally, just because I'd rather, you know, learn the game first and whatnot. And then this will definitely be like a second solo playthrough run, though, for sure. I would definitely do some second playthrough where you guys that show up to my streams can vote on what the heck goes on in dialogue and everything. We're recommending that players don't buy the early access version of Baldur's Gate 3 with a view to play through that content, or the access content. Partially because it's out of date, but mostly because we're so close to launch and want to make it very clear that saves in the early access version will not transfer into the final game. Which makes sense. This is due to technical reasons. Right. I mean, not only that, but, you know, it just makes sense from just like a narrative standpoint, and plus, you know, not all the classes are in there, and all the not the technical stuff, but other features they're trying to add in there and updates where they want to put in there. So it wouldn't make sense from that. So essentially the game is so vastly different that it's not possible to make those saves files compatible. Right. Early access will, of course, remain playable up to launch. A purchase of early access is essentially a pre-order and will still grant you access to the digital deluxe content for Baldur's Gate 3 on PC, grant you access to an exclusive in-game dice skin, the Divinity Bard Song Pack, Treasures of Revelation Pack, Adventures Pouch, digital OST, digital art book, and digital character sheets for D&D in real life. That's awesome. Now, this was clarified by some of my in the comments on my last video as well, but I'll read this out too, just so we're clear, guys. The PC Digital Deluxe Edition does not, I repeat, does not include a 72-hour head start. Apparently, that was an issue where it was like, that was still on the like marketing stuff and promotion stuff for Digital Deluxe, at least, it seemed like. So, it looks like they fixed that and clarified that now. Which would have essentially made the game's release date July 31st, shifting release date, and thus communication around the digital deluxe editions across PS5 and PC came with a few complexities that we didn't manage to communicate very well. So we thought it best to clarify it here, given that a 72-hour head start on PC wouldn't have been plausible, and that's understandable. But it's still coming out August 3rd, so yeah, and then PS5 September 6th. So it looks like it's still, as you see here, for PS5, September 6th or September 3rd if you pre-order the Digital Deluxe Edition for PS5. So 72 hours early access for PS5 is still a thing, just not for PC. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I'm excited about this. It's fantastic. I'm loving this. You know, as I've, already expressed in my why you should be hyped video for this, I'm looking forward to this. And something I forgot to mention in that video also is, it's refreshing nowadays to have a developer like Larian who is making such a huge and complex game from a narrative standpoint, all these systems they're putting in there and stuff like that, and gameplay mechanics, where nowadays, you get a lot of games that release unpolished, unfinished. Heck, you can't even trust them getting delayed anymore, because we got some of these games getting delayed and they still release in an unpolished mess. This year alone, we've had a couple really bad ones. Redfall and the Golem game, arguably the two worst games of this year so far. So yeah, and it's looking like this is going to be really polished and really good. They know what they're doing. They took the time to put in love and effort to make sure this is going to work right, and they're not trying to mess it up, because this could blow them up like bigger than they ever been. I feel like it will. I think Divinity 2 kind of did that to a degree. I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is going to do that even more so. I remember reading something online about how, because of the bear scene, that increased Steam sales of this game. So if that did it, that increased it to the top charts there for a little bit at least. It might still be in there. But yeah, the fact they did that and all they're doing for it, the changes they made, appropriate, the future updates going to have for this. I mean, who knows? We might get some expansions too in the future that will even raise the level cap beyond level 12 as well too. That'd be amazing if that happens. In this day and age, expansions are not too far off from being a thing with a lot of RPGs these days. So we'll have to wait and see. Based on the previous games though, it didn't seem like there was really any story expansions for Divinity 1 and 2. So I don't know, but I'm very hyped for this, still very excited for this, and hopefully this information was helpful to you guys, and deciding to get this game right away or wait, or what you're going to, understand better about the game. Let me know your thoughts and comments below, and I will be streaming this on my Twitch when it comes out, the full release version anyway, and making more content around this, doing some more coverage, stuff like that, some more things I want to go into, such as like more detail as far as like the alchemy stuff, crafting, multiclassing, the races like that, like what races are good for each class type of thing when the full version of the game comes out, because, things are going to change by then. Races and how classes work are going to be different than early access. So I can't necessarily go off that. Thank you all again for watching. Appreciate you. See you next time.